What's up, guys? It's me again. I want to do a video on something I've been thinking about for a couple days. One of my favorite topics. Is You 2.0. You 2.0. The better version of yourself. All of us, we know a lot of our faults, maybe not all of them. We know a lot of our flaws, maybe not all of them. We know the things that we're supposed to be doing to get to where we want. We know those things, right? I did a video, actually, a couple of days ago. I actually haven't even uploaded it. I haven't edited it and uploaded it yet. But it piggybacks very well off of this topic right here. For you to get the things that you want, for you to accomplish your goals, it takes one of two things or both of these things. That is knowledge or commitment. That's it. Knowledge or commitment. Those are the two things that keep you from everything that you want. Knowledge or commitment. A lot of us have one or the other. Or you may have both. But here's the thing. And I talk about this in the other video. And I love the concept. If you haven't looked him up on YouTube, look him up. His name is Sadhguru, right? Sadghuru. Yogi mystic, whatever you want to call him. That's what he's known as. Super enlightened individual. But he says we live in a society where we're all basically skeptical, right? He said faith works for the simple-minded. The simple-minded. He said right now, if Jesus Christ were to be standing right in front of you, you'd want to launch an investigation. So for that kind of person, faith does not work. So he said, what's the next best thing? The next best thing is commitment, right? Commitment. I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. If you left faith out of the equation, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. You need either the knowledge to do it, right? Or you have the knowledge and you need to commit and just do the work. I read a book. This is probably like 6 years ago. By Jeff Olson, one of my favorite books called The Slight Edge. Excellent book. Basically talks about compounding and the effects of compounding over time. And he mentioned an interesting concept that I think is brilliant. He said everything that you need to do, and I'm paraphrasing here, is easy to do. The problem is it's also easy not to do. He said it's easy to eat that hamburger, right? The hamburger you know you shouldn't be eating if you're trying to lose weight and get in shape or trying to get into better health. It's easy. It's easy not to eat it, but it's also easy to eat it. Why? Because we're thinking about now. Right now, we're not thinking of the consequences and negative effects of that kind of behavior and mentality. But later on, we're going to feel that, right? So we like to think about now. But later on, the compounding effects of thinking that way and having that behavior is going to affect you. Anything that you do or don't do long term will affect you, right? If you don't eat healthy, it's going to affect you long term, right? Anything that you don't do or do long term will have an effect. If you exercise long term, you will be healthier. If you don't exercise long term, you will not be healthier. Everything that you do or don't do has an effect when you plot it on a graph long term, right? A lot of us have the knowledge. We know what we need to do. There's a quote, successful people do daily what unsuccessful people do occasionally. Think about that. It's no longer, I don't know what I'm doing or I don't know what I want to do. If you know what you should be doing, and a lot of us do, and you're not doing it, It's nobody else's fault but yours. And I'm going to free a lot of people because I'm huge on this. I learned this about 10 years ago. I was doing a business about 10 years ago, and my mentor at the time, he told me, he said, congratulations. If you are where you want to be in life, it's your fault. He said, if you're not where you want to be in life, congratulations, it's your fault. Personal responsibility is the beginning of everything. It is no longer the government's fault, your significant other's fault. It's not your job's fault. It's not the weather's fault. It's no one else's fault but yours. For a lot of people, that should be freeing. It should be freeing because at a certain point, you cannot bullshit yourself. At a certain point, you have to recognize as an adult, as a responsible person, if you're mature and aware, man, there's nothing in my way right now, but I'm still not doing what I'm supposed to be doing. That should free you because it puts the ball in your court. When you're in control, it's up to you. It is better to be in control than not in control any day of the week. You 2.0. And then I get it. I'm not talking from a place of like I'm perfect or I have it all figured out. I have some things figured out, and I've applied a lot of things over time to see enough data to see the changes in myself and circumstances and progress and all that sort of thing, right? So I never do a video or talk about something I don't know. Never. Everything is up to us. We all have circumstances. There's things that we want to work on, but it's not a good time in life, and that makes sense, and I get that. We're not in the mind frame or just a place in life to be focusing on certain things. But there's a point in time when if you find yourself, you have the same goals year after year, year after year, the same New Year's resolutions year after year, something's going on. Because you might not have the time or be in the place in life to accomplish something, but not year after year after year after year, right? At a certain point, you have to get pissed off at just who you've been or your current circumstances or the way you've been thinking, the same things you've been dealing with all the time. You have to kind of get tired of that, right? And that's the most motivating factor. And unfortunately, for most of us, it takes that. And I heard it put this way. I think it was Joe Dispenza that said this. He said for most people over 35, it takes some type of significant event, some catastrophe, some tragedy to make a change, right? For a lot of people, it takes, their health is in shambles before they start exercising. And it shouldn't be that way. And again, that is not something you could blame on anyone else. That's not a lack of knowledge, right? You know that you should be eating healthy. You know you shouldn't be eating all that junk, and you know you should be cooking rather than eating out. You know you should be meal prepping. You know you should be exercising. It's no longer, you can never say, I didn't know. It's a lack of commitment. That's all it is. And if you're not committed, that's fine. But recognize that in yourself, number one, and two, admit it to yourself. It is okay. You say, man, I've been sucking at this. But don't blame it on anyone else. And understand that it's your responsibility and you're in control. That should free you. At a certain point, you got to get mad. Man, I'm tired of dealing with this shit. I'm tired of being in this stupid situation. I'm going to sit down. I'm going to grind. And this is going to kind of segue into another section of the video, I guess, another part of the video. But you have to become the better version of yourself. I believe that your life does not start until you become the better version of yourself. Being aware of your flaws, your faults, and saying, man, I messed up here. How can I learn? How can I not do this again so that the next situation, the next time this arises, I'm a better person, or I can twist the situation to be in my favor? How can I become more aware, more responsible, more mature, more enlightened, right? How can I control the situation? How can I make my life better? It's all under your control. And a lot of it starts with awareness. And I love the practicality, and I've talked about this in other videos. I like to give concepts and messages, and they're important, but they're not important if you don't get it, if it doesn't make a mental click and you don't get it. So I like the practicality of then following up with those messages and saying, okay, this bare bones thing needs to make sense to you, right? 1 + 1 has to equal 2, and then we build on that, right? You either have the knowledge or you have the commitment, or both. When you have both, you can get what you want and no one can stop you. Those are the only two things. If you don't know what you're doing, pursue the knowledge. And every single day of your life, pursue knowledge. In the Bible, it says, my people will perish for lack of knowledge. The rich make money off the people that don't know what they're doing, or they think they know what they're doing, but really they have a lack of awareness, right? Apple only makes money off of people because people feel the need to have the latest stupid ass iPhone or the latest Mac. As soon as people become aware, that's it. Apple can no longer make money off of you because you know better. When you say, I don't need this crap, I've had that, if my phone is a year old, they can't make money off of you. But they're banking on the fact that, number one, you want to look like you need to stun on people, or you need to fill some voids, so you need to spend some money to have the newest thing, right? To look like you're up to date or you got money. And that's the problem. If you become aware, Apple can't make money off of you. Wealthy people cannot make money off of you in terms of materialistic crap if you don't play the game. But it takes knowledge. You need the knowledge. That's what separates people. Knowledge. Now, if you have the knowledge and you don't want to do anything about it, that's another level, and I've already talked about. That's a lack of commitment and discipline. But most of the time, it's going to be a lack of knowledge. Pursue knowledge. Raise your value. Become more intelligent. Become more wise. More knowledgeable. More well-rounded. Chase knowledge. It is what separates you from what you want. Once you get that, you have to know when to cut off and say, okay, it's not about learning anymore. It's about applying. Then you commit. That is how you become the better version of yourself. You 2.0. I'm tired of my circumstances. I'm tired of waking up early every single day to go to work. I'm tired of being out of shape. I'm tired of having this problem and this mental issue and this whatever, this insecurity. You got to get tired. Those are all things you got to list down. I don't work on this shit. I'm going to get this crap done with. I'm sick of this. You can't spend your whole life with dealing with the same problems. If you do, that's your fault. That is your fault. And I say this because this is how I talk to myself. That is how I talk to myself. Are you going to deal with the same problem for year after year after year after year? That's your fault because you're not committing. And you have to look at yourself in the mirror and say, man, I'm fucking up. I'm slacking off. I'm not prioritizing. I'm not investing in what I'm supposed to be doing. That is your fault. Take control and say, man, I messed up. I keep slacking off. I'm done. I'm weak. And the thing is, when you know, this is the thing. You can't fool yourself. When you know that you know what you're supposed to be doing and you're not doing that, that affects your confidence level. Because you can't fool yourself. You know you're not giving it what you can. You know you're not giving it what you should. And you know you're complaining about your circumstances, but you're not doing anything about it, or you're giving it 10%. No. If you're doing that, it's your fault. You can't blame anybody else but you, and nothing will change until you take control of that shit. You got to become the better version of yourself. When you start pursuing that kind of lifestyle, you realize how little time you have. Then you start valuing your time. Then your value goes up because you're no longer Mickey Mousing with shit anymore. Like, I don't have time to play around. I have to work on this, and this. That absorbs and occupies your mind at all times of the day. At all times. You become that person, and then your identity attaches to that concept of, man, I'm grinding right now. I'm not slacking no more. I'm done with that. And as you do that day after day after day after day, not only do you identify with it, you're pushing the old you further and further away. Joe Dispenza says, in order for you to create a new reality, you have to have a new personality. You literally have to kill the old you. We are all carrying mindsets, beliefs, behaviors, and thought patterns that go under the radar, that screw us over. And those are the things you need to check on and say, man, am I self-sabotaging myself? Are there things that I don't know, that I'm not aware of, that are screwing me over? What? Then you start catching your own behavior and say, oh shit, I've been doing this every single time this pops up. This is the way I react to this. That is how you start becoming the better version of yourself, by realizing things that are holding you back. You need to work on those things. You don't even know what life is until you become the better version of yourself, man. When you start conquering the stupid crap you've been dealing with your entire life, you're like, I should have done this sooner, right? And you become the better version of yourself. You could be anywhere by yourself because you love your own company and you're just crushing it, right? You're picking up on stuff you didn't pick up before. You're the better version of yourself. You're happy by yourself. And I have a video about this, and your superpower, right? The ability to learn to be by yourself. By yourself. If you don't know how to be by yourself, you need to figure that shit out. because nobody can fill the void that needs to be filled by you. That is part of that. Be by yourself with all your problems and all your insecurities and all your issues, and figure what those issues are and start working on yourself. Open your mind up to be more aware so you can pick up the crap that you've been dealing with your entire life. Say, man, I'm done with this crap. I can't go my entire life dealing with the same problems. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. If you find yourself, you're always in a crappy ass relationship with someone else, you are the common denominator. It's fine. Sometimes it's someone else. It could be other people. But if you keep having the same issues, you're the common denominator. Are you the common denominator in your issues? Man, every time I do this, this ends up being this way. Reflect, analyze, why does that keep happening? You hate your job? How can I get out of my job? I'm sick of this stupid ass place. I need to get out of here. Work on yourself, get the knowledge, build your skill sets, raise your value so you can get to the next level and be a better version. It's all about the up and up. Every step is a step to the next level. Your life is about leveling up. It is not about sitting down and then staying in the same place for your entire life and bitching and moaning about the same problems. You cannot have the same problems all the time. You will get to a point where you're going to realize, man, I don't even recognize myself anymore. There's a lot of things about myself I do not recognize about myself anymore. I laugh at how I was before. I'm like, I can't even believe that I did this, or I thought this way, because I'm killing the old me. Killing it. If I find a weakness, I bury that shit and I keep digging and digging and digging and putting low in the ground so that I can get to the next level. And to the point where I have nothing I needed to work on that's holding me back. I will still get better in areas. I'm always going to have stuff to work on. But it's nothing that I've been dragging my entire life, right? And that's what you don't want to do, is dragging the same problems, right? If you keep dealing with the same people, you still got the same financial issues you've always had, you're still out of shape, what are you doing, right? And I say that not to say I'm better than you. I say that because that's where I'm at. I talk to myself this way. What are you doing, right? What are you doing? Are you just talking, or are you going to do some shit about it? Are you going to just, I want to do? We all know what we need to do. We all know what we want to do. Are you doing it? Because if you're not, stop talking. Just stop talking. Just stop lying to yourself. You're just destroying your own self-esteem and your own self-image because you know you're not doing shit. You're not, right? You got to get to the point where you don't allow slacking off. There was a Joe Rogan podcast I was watching not too long ago, probably like 2 weeks ago. And I don't know who the guy was that he was interviewing, but apparently they were pretty cool. They've known each other for a while. And every time the guy would talk, Joe Rogan would check him, like, he would hear what he's saying and the language he's using. He would recognize that the guy was like, giving himself a way out to be able to slack off and feel and be okay with that and justify it. And that the guy would be like, every time I'm working out and I'm eating healthy, I feel great, but then I just love beer and like all this stuff. And he's like, I just know that if I slack off, I'll pick it up and I can get back into it again. Joe Rogan would check him out and be like, yo, what are you doing? You keep giving yourself an out. That's why you keep slacking off. And he mentioned something that was so key. He said, the reason why you don't smoke and why I don't smoke is because we don't allow it. You just simply don't allow it. So there's no wiggle room or playroom with that. You don't allow it, right? And some things you're just going to have to not allow anymore. You cannot allow slacking. And then you start identifying with that. Now you become this new person. And now, before you know it, man, I don't allow slacking anymore. I don't even know what slacking is. That doesn't even compute, right? And the old you is dead. And the new you is here, reaping all the benefits of the new you, right? Because you killed the old you. It was all up to you the entire time. But until you get that and say, man, I've been allowing this, and this in my life. No wonder I have it. It's in my life because I allowed it. And that triggers something in my mind because I'm like, I do not want weakness in me or around me. And I'm like, man, there it is. There it is, right? There's no slacking anymore. There's not even enough time in the day to continue grinding. I wish I didn't have to sleep, right? But you're in the pursuit of your goals every day, right? And I don't want to derail the conversation, but it kind of goes hand in hand, man. At a certain point in life, you're going to have to get all the distractions out of your life, put your head down, and grind. Every successful person has sacrificed, right? has gotten distractions out and has put their head down and grinded for an X number of years, right? To get where they want to get to become the better version of themselves, right? Because you have to become a more qualified person to not only attract the things that you want, but you have to become the person that can keep it, that knows how to keep the things once you get them, right? Because there's people that can make a ton of money and blow it because their character and their experience hasn't been developed enough to learn how to invest or how to spend their money, or how to feel abundant and all that stuff. That comes with time and character and growth, right? For you to appreciate what you have, that's not something you get just because you have the materialistic thing in your hand. Some people get things too fast and they lose it because they didn't go through the growth process to get it. That's going to teach you how to keep it, right? I heard it put this way: money's easy to get, but it's hard to keep. And that's interesting, right? But you have to go through the growth. There's no substitute for it, right? There's no substitute for growth. There's not. There's just not. You're not going to get money and become a better person. Money does not equal you being a better person. You're not going to. There's no substitute for water, right? You can't just continue eating. You need water. You need both, right? You need growth. If you want your life to be better, you need to grow. There's no substitute for it. There's none. There's not, oh, I have a hot ass chick, so I'm fine now. No, that hot girl can't make you any money, right? That hot girl can't give you any health. She can't teach you how to grow or become more abundant or become spiritually more developed. None of that. Each thing in your life has a certain value, is a certain puzzle piece that fills a certain void in your life. And you're trying to put this puzzle together, right? And you're trying to figure out what puzzle pieces you need and where they go. That's what life is about. What do I think is important? What do I want in 5 years? What's important? If it's important in 5 years, it's important now. Health, wealth, love, and happiness. Tai Lopez says it. That's his thing, right? Put the puzzle pieces together and you're spinning the plates. Life is about spinning discs, spinning plates all the time. You could have all the money in the world. If you have no social skills or no social circle, no friends, no family, nothing. You got nothing. You're going to feel that. You could be a billionaire. You're going to feel that, right? If you have tons of money, but you don't exercise, you eat like crap, and you're 40 and you have all this money, but you can't even jog a block without passing out, you have no health. There's no substitute for exercising. There's none. Each thing has its own value and it's its own puzzle piece. Every puzzle piece has to fit where it goes, and there's no substitute for another puzzle piece. It has a specific shape and it goes in a specific place, and there's no substitute. You gotta put the puzzle pieces together, and the only way you can do that is to work on yourself and become the better version of you 2.0. I want you to grind to the point you don't even know who you are. You can't even believe who the old person was. You're like, man, this person was a slacker. I can't believe I didn't start doing this years ago, right? You gotta pursue the knowledge, and then you grow and you build your character and you develop and you start learning all these things, right? And then you become the better version of yourself, and you become addicted to it, and you identify with it. Your value goes up, your expectations go up. Now you're in a higher level. You expect to attract other people, other opportunities that you wouldn't have, right? Successful people hang out with successful people. They know the grind. They came up. They know who they are. They know who they were, and they know who you are. They can smell it off of you, and they're not gonna hang out with you if you're a loser. And so you reject, right? You repel opportunities. Or if you're a man and you want this better quality, better class of woman, right? You need to excel and work your way up, because she knows what she's worth. She knows what she wants. She knows what she can get. And if you're not there, you're not going to get that, because you haven't worked your way to get that. You have to grind. It's not about the goal or just the goal. It's about who you become in the process of pursuing the goals. You have to identify with that person. Well, you're not a slacker anymore. You're not making excuses, right? I'm supposed to be packing right now. I didn't even plan on making this video. But this is something I want to do. This is something I enjoy doing. I'm going to do this consistently. I'm going to do it for years from now on. So it's important now so I can drop what I'm doing and do this. I got out of work, grabbed a drink, came home. We're doing this video. Then we're going to work out, because there's no excuse. I'm going to pack and tomorrow I'll be in New York. But we're putting in work. Work. There's nothing else to do. There's nothing else. Right? Put your head down, sacrifice, and grind. Grind through it. Work towards your goals. So when you get them, you feel like you deserve them. Man, I worked for this shit, and there's no way in hell anyone's going to take it from you. And if you lost it, you can get it back, because you know what you did to get it. And you're the person that you need to be to get it back. And people can smell it off of you. This person is a grinder, right? This person is a grinder. There used to be a point in time when I could not do a video. It took me hours to do one video. Everything is a one-take Drake now. I call it a one-take Drake. Why? Grind. It's a grind. When you grind and you're on your purpose, you identify with that and you don't care about the shit that you used to care about because it's not important anymore, right? And it comes through and people are going to smell it off you. They're going to smell it off you. You can't hide progress. They're going to smell it. Work on your stuff. We got 4 months to the end of the year, right? It is August 28th. Where are you in terms of accomplishing your goals? I'm in line to accomplish 3 out of 4 of my goals, and the 4th one changed. So if I accomplish that one, I'm happy about that. And I'm in line to accomplish that by the end of December, and we're gonna hit that. And if I barely don't hit all of them, that's fine. But I'm super close to start January, boom, with new goals. You don't want to go into the new year with the same old problems, right? There's no substitute for the grind. None. And you have to fall in love with it. And you will, because you're going to realize, man, I'm a different person now. I think differently, I feel differently, I act differently. I'm chilling, right? You're just absorbed and happy with what you're working on because everything leads to a better version of you with new and better circumstances and a better lifestyle, right? It's no surprise why people are stressed out and sick and all this stuff because they're dealing with the same crap and they don't see a way out. In their mind, they got to deal with this for the rest of their lives because they're not doing anything about it. When you start changing and working towards something better, you breathe life into your life. There's no way around it. There's no way around it. And that's the purpose of this thing. Learn to become better. Pursue what you want. Get out of life what already exists. It's literally sitting there waiting for you. All the money in the world exists. All the health you want exists. No one can take your health from you, the health that you can work for. You have it. Once you worked on it, it's yours, right? It's all there. All of it is there. The home that you want, the cars you want, there are already dealerships with your car sitting in the lot right now. The homes that you want already exist. It could be a house that existed for a couple years by the time when you bought it, right? It's all there. It's yours if you want to work for it. That is what life is about. Becoming the better version of yourself. Accomplishing everything. Living life to the fullest. Seeing what you're made of, what you could accomplish. Doing the things that you didn't think you could do. Learning the things you've never known. Meeting people you've never known. Living a life and traveling, seeing places you've never seen. And chasing the new. The new. The better you, the better life. Right? And then teaching it to other people. Teaching it. That is the purpose of life. Learning and then teaching. Because there's always somebody that comes behind you. And you got to teach. That's why I do these videos. But this video is long enough. I hope you guys got something out of this. If you like this and you have any comments, comment below in the video. If you're seeing this on my website, you can comment there as well. But like, subscribe. Let me know if you have any questions. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.
Smile.